Who will win the college football national championship? What is the worst jersey that has ever been worn on the court or the field? And who do I think the Titans should take in round one if they go pass catcher? That and more on the first ever episode of TriStar Talk. My name's Braden Clark. With me, as always, is Davis Hesselrode. We both grew up in Nashville and around Tennessee, and we love sports, and we thought we'd start this podcast to share our love with sports with all of you. So in honor of the college football playoff bracket getting released, we're going to go through the bracket and give you our picks and who we think will come home with the national championship.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a little bit controversial on my end as far as my bracket.
Yeah?
But I don't know.
All right. Well, then we'll kick things off. Looking at the first matchup, we'll go to the 12-5 game, James Madison and Oregon. Who do you have for that matchup, Dave?
I'm taking Oregon here. I think that, James Madison being an underdog as an understatement for sure. I just don't think they have the strength or the power to get through Oregon. I think Oregon's a sleeper a little bit, honestly. People overlook them a little bit. But
yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you. I mean, in my opinion, having a group of 5 team in the playoff is nice, and you want to sort of have that similar feel of Cinderella runs or that possibility like in March Madness. But yeah. I just think that doesn't really have a place in football. I think Oregon gets it done, they handle business, and they move on to the next round.
Yeah, I agree.
So next, we'll go to the 8 and 9. I'm just going top to bottom. Alabama at Oklahoma. A little rematch from whenever they played during the regular season.
Yeah.
Who you got?
And I had a hard time picking this one because, Oklahoma has beat them 2 times in a row since both times they played Alabama recently. But this Alabama team, the last part of the season has looked kind of crazy, and I just don't think that anybody can beat Alabama 3 times in a row. I know it's in Norman, it's in Oklahoma, but I think Alabama's going to go on the road and get it done. Moving on to the second round. So.
Yeah, so far we're matched. I'm picking Alabama to upset Oklahoma. You could say that it's just because it's Alabama, and that's probably true. I have a hard time picking against blue blood programs like Alabama in the playoff or in situations like this. I think Oklahoma's offense has been spotty all year, and I think that when it counts, I don't think John Mateer is going to deliver. Ty Simpson, Alabama's quarterback, he's been a machine all year. I think he gets it done here in the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah, that was a hard one, though. I feel like, man.
It could go either way. Oklahoma's defense is crazy.
I don't know if we're supposed to be biased or unbiased, but I don't like Alabama.
Yeah, I hate Alabama.
So it was hard to pick them, but for going who I genuinely think will win, Alabama for sure. So
okay. Now we got Ole Miss hosting Tulane. Ole Miss without Lane Kiffin.
Yeah.
First game.
Both schools without their head coach. Tulane's head coach is moving on next season, but he's still coaching. But.
Yeah, they let him stay, unlike Lane Kiffin. I'll start this off. I pick Ole Miss. Again, I just don't think Tulane has the talent. Even though Ole Miss lost their coach, I think they're going to be playing angry that Lane Kiffin left them, and they're going to. They already played this year, and it was a lot to a little. I forgot the score, but I think Ole Miss gets it done.
Yeah, I agree here. I think this is the easiest pick of this first round.
Yeah.
Ole Miss absolutely whooped them in the regular season, and even though they don't have Lane Kiffin, that might play a factor in some of the players wanting being motivated to play and how hard they try. But I still think that Ole Miss, being an SEC school, having obviously a harder schedule and just better guys are going to pull this one out for sure. So,
yeah. Then the last first round matchup, we have Miami going to Kyle Field, taking on the Aggies. Who do you have? I know you you've got a little Texas A&M in your blood.
Yeah, this is Texas A&M for me. I think this might be one of the best matchups as far as close games go in this first round. But yeah, I got to go with the hometown SEC school here. Miami kind of snuck in over Notre Dame. Very controversial there, but I think they're going to get kicked out right away. So, yeah.
I'm picking the upset. I'm taking the Hurricanes to go into Kyle Fields with that defense with Ruben Bain, a guy I want the Titans to draft. And they're going to upset the Aggies. I think that last game that Texas A&M had against South Carolina really showed me that they were human. They barely won an incredible comeback. Credit to them for that. But I don't know. I just think that Texas A&M hasn't really been tested all year. And I think barring a Carson Beck 8 interception game that he's liable to have, I think that the Hurricanes have the talent and they have the coach to go and get an upset in the first round.
Yeah, looking at the stats between Marcel Reed and Carson Beck, they have like the exact same stats. 25 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, both of them. Carson Beck has more passing yards. Miami's leading rusher has more rushing yards on like 30 more carries, but
yeah,
either way, it's a tight game.
I definitely will be excited to watch that one. I think it could go either way, but just listening to my gut, I wanted to pick the Hurricanes.
Yeah.
Moving on to the quarterfinals, we got Texas Tech hosting Oregon. I think we're still aligned on that.
Yeah.
For me, I'm picking Texas Tech. Their defense, that linebacker who should be a Heisman finalist, I think his name is Jacob Rodriguez.
Yep.
That dude's a freak. Texas Tech has been rolling all year. I think at home in Lubbock, I think they get it done. I think it could be a close game. Oregon, definitely a good team. I just think Texas Tech has got it this year, so I'm picking them to go on to the semis.
Yeah, I know I said Oregon was an underdog, but they're not beating Texas Tech. I think that, Oregon might have a slightly underrated defense and underrated offense. But I think Texas Tech's defense is crazy, and Jacob Rodriguez is another level. So
yeah, at this point in the season, it's Jimmys and Joes over X's and O's,
yeah, that's right.
And you got the better player there.
Who wants it more for sure.
Mm-hmm. Next, a game that we both have picked, the Rose Bowl. We got Indiana hosting the Crimson Tide.
Yeah.
I'm excited for this one.
Oh, gosh.
If this happens, that'll be amazing. Curt Cignetti is probably one of my favorite coaches, like not at Tennessee, obviously. Josh Heupel's awesome. But I love Curt Cignetti. He's an awesome coach. I feel like every time I listen to him in like a press conference or something, he always says something cool. Like whenever they were interviewing him about like why should recruits come here, and he just said, "I just win."
Yeah,
Google
Google
me.
me.
He's awesome. So that's why I have Indiana continuing to roll, and they beat the Tide in the Rose Bowl.
Yeah, I'm the same. Maybe we aren't that much different in our brackets. I think Indiana will win. That's crazy to say because Indiana, it's a basketball state. But,
Yeah.
them being number one in college football is kind of still crazy to me. But, yeah, I think that, in California, neutral site, and Indiana coming off a big win against Ohio State, Alabama would have just beat Oklahoma in this situation. So I think both teams are going to be on a high. So I think it's going to be really close. I think Indiana's going to move on for sure. So
Yeah. To the Sugar Bowl, where I think we both have Georgia and Ole Miss.
yeah,
I picked the Dogs to handle business. Another one of these games where I look at the coaches and I think Ole Miss, I don't know who they have as their interim, but he's not better than Kirby Smart. And Kirby Smart is one of the best coaches in college football, maybe the best, you could argue. I think that Georgia's just I mean, it's Georgia. Yeah, it's hard for me to pick against them. So I have them beating Ole Miss. They beat them during the year. We were actually at that game, well, tailgating for that game when we went down to Athens.
Yeah, you were, but yeah.
Oh yeah, you did. Anyways, yeah, I picked the Bulldogs to handle business. Kirby Smart will have their boys ready coming off of a bye week. They're gonna have a lot of time to prepare. I think Georgia's just gonna get it done.
Same here. Georgia's. I'm gonna go ahead and preview now, but Georgia's in the national championship game for me. So
okay,
I'm high on Georgia, and I just think that the whole situation with Lane Kiffin is really going to affect Ole Miss more than they realize.
Yeah.
It just, your head coach who's really good leaves, and your play, like, if I'm in that situation as a player, my motivation to play is gone, I think. And I don't know if there's going to be any guys sitting out or anything like that. I haven't heard anything about that yet, but
yeah, I didn't think of that.
Sometimes that happens, and that can affect the whole team as well. So Georgia, I'm gonna beat Ole Miss here at the Sugar Bowl. So,
all right, last quarterfinal matchup. I have Ohio State playing Miami. I think you have Ohio State playing Texas A&M.
Yep.
What do you got?
Oh man, this one was also hard for me because this is in Texas actually. In Dallas, I think, at the
Cotton Bowl.
Oh, okay, yeah. Is it at AT&T Stadium?
I think so.
Okay, yeah. But that's basically a home field game for Texas A&M. And I don't know. I think that Ohio State is too good for Texas A&M. Kind of like what you mentioned earlier, South Carolina game shot kind of humanized Texas A&M a little bit. And Ohio State just got so many guys that are just so talented that it seems like you can't handle that.
Yeah.
Just on paper. I mean, everybody can have a bad game, but I think Ohio State's going to pull it out over Texas A&M.
Yeah, me too. In my bracket, I have Ohio State beating Miami. Similar things to what you said. Ohio State, I mean, they've been the best team in the country. Until they lost to Indiana in the Big Ten championship. Julian Sayin has been balling. I mean, Heisman finalist for him.
Yeah.
He's just been so efficient, taking care of the ball. Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate both on that offense. I think it'll just be too much for regardless of whoever they play from that first round matchup. I think that defense could definitely cause some problems for, in my game, Miami and Carson Beck. Caleb Downs is a freak. He's going to be a top 5 pick in the draft. And I think just Ohio State's just got better players. They got a great coach in Ryan Day, even though he can't really beat Michigan all too often. And as much as I would love for Ohio State to lose, I think they get it done and they go on to the next round.
Yeah, Ohio State's the same level as Alabama for me as far as disliking them goes.
Yeah. Yeah. So the semifinals go to the Peach Bowl, where Indiana plays Texas Tech in both of our brackets.
Yep.
For me, I have Kurt Signetti and the Indiana Hoosiers moving on to the national championship. I picked them to win. I just think, pretty much the same things I said against Alabama when they played Alabama. Indiana's just, I do not want to play Indiana. Fernando Mendoza, he's possible number 1 pick. That whole offense just is humming. And their defense, too, is great. I'm just looking at Indiana's schedule. Sure, you can say that they haven't really played the best teams, but they've just been demolishing anyone that's, put in front of them. And with that win over Ohio State, I think they're going to be riding high. I think they're going to be, Kurt Signetti's going to be determined to, turn Indiana into a winning program. And make Indiana a destination in college football. So I think they get the win and they move on to the national championship.
Yeah, I don't have as much comments as that, but I think that Indiana's going to beat Texas Tech here. Indiana's offense is just too much, even for a defense like Texas Tech. Jacob Rodriguez is not going to get enough tackles in this game to beat Indiana. So I think Indiana's moving on for sure.
Yeah. All right. And then we both have Georgia and Ohio State in the Fiesta Bowl. Both of us have all the top 4 seeds moving on to the semifinals.
Yeah.
For me, I'm picking the Bulldogs to win.
Oh.
Beat Ohio State. I think they're just not as good as the national championship team that they had last year. They could definitely prove me wrong. I mean, this game could go the other way, and I would not be surprised. I think Georgia and Kirby Smart, all they've been hearing all season, for the past few seasons, is how that they're not as good as, like, the prime Georgia days. And that might be true, but they're going to be out looking for blood, trying to prove the haters wrong, and they're going to get back to the national championship game.
Yeah, the Dogs moving on here, like I said earlier. I think this pick for me is just a, I just hope Ohio State loses. They made it far enough in this bracket already, but they're a great team. They really are. They have so much talent. And like you said, Braden, like if they win, it's not that much of a surprise. And honestly, if they beat Georgia, I think that they go on to even beat Indiana in an upset. If they were to beat Georgia here, but in my bracket, they're not. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Are you picking Georgia because your fiance is a Georgia fan? Is that the real reason?
I did think about that, but that's not really the real reason. I just
you're not trying to score some brownie points.
no. I already have enough brownie points. So
All right, the moment you've all been waiting for, the national championship game. We both picked the same matchup. We
Yeah.
did not look at each other's brackets. This was done completely on our own. We have the number 1 seeded Indiana Hoosiers playing the Georgia Bulldogs in the national championship game. Who do you have taking home the CFP?
yeah, Georgia here. Indiana's hot run of this season, being undefeated, is going to come to an end in the very last game. I don't know. Nobody plays football like the SEC, and I know I'm going to probably catch some hate for that, but I just think that Georgia is going to win it here again, and Kirby Smart's going to get him another trophy. So, yeah.
I have the Indiana Hoosiers winning the national championship. Sometimes you just look at a team and you see that they have it. And whatever it is, I think the Hoosiers have it. Fernando Mendoza, that coach, I just think that their relationship is so good, and this whole team is just like ragtag group of kids from Indiana. They don't have, a receiver like Jeremiah Smith. They don't have, crazy skill players. They have a good quarterback, they have a great coach, and they have a great culture in Indiana. And I think they finished this magical season as undefeated national champions. I think that Indiana gets put on the map in terms of recruiting, in terms of the transfer portal. I think Curt Cignetti, already in one of his first few years at Indiana, makes that contract worth it for them, and brings home a national championship.
Yeah, that's a good pick. This is probably the most March Madness basketball-esque football bracket that I've ever seen. I don't know. I think football is more like whoever the stronger team is, they're going to win. Whereas basketball, you have more likelihood for upsets.
Yeah.
There is in both sports. But in my opinion, besides the Tulane and Ole Miss game, and then the JMU and Oregon game, all of these could go either way.
Yeah.
And even in those two, there's possibility. But I think this is going to be a great playoff, because all of these games hopefully will be good. They're not going to be any 40-point blowouts.
Yeah.
Who knows, honestly.
I got a question for you. If Notre Dame was at the 10 seed where Miami is right now, how far do you think they make it?
Texas A&M's still going to beat them.
Really?
Yeah. I
okay.
don't know. I think that Texas A&M will no matter, but Miami or Notre Dame, they'll beat them. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. That'd be a tough pick for me. I am in love with Jeremiah Love, no pun intended.
Oh yeah, that's true.
He's a freak.
Maybe
Like,
future Titan.
I hope so. I hope so. But I don't know. That'd be an interesting game, but we don't have to worry about it because it didn't make it.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. So now we'll move on to the next segment.
I was gonna say, did you pick your total point score in the whole playoff?
Okay.
I want to see what you said for that.
I thought it would be just like a normal score. I did 51. I didn't really think about what like the final score of this game would be. Just saying one right now, I'd probably say it's relatively low scoring. I probably put like 24-17 Indiana wins. I think Georgia's defense will be able to limit them enough for them to not score a million. But yeah, I think it'll be a relatively low scoring game.
I don't know if you read that right, but you're supposed to predict all the games combined points.
Whoa.
11 games.
Holy
Which is kind of interesting. I
didn't even think of that.
I saw it and I was like, oh yeah, maybe like low 40s.
Because that's how it is for the March Madness bracket.
Yeah.
You pick the total points for the game. Total points for the whole tournament.
For all 11 games.
Wow. Okay.
So.
What did you put?
I put 469. If you average.
See, I don't even know where to start.
Yeah, I did like an average each game of 40.
Yeah.
And then upped it a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, you think you're gonna have your high scoring blowouts, with Ole Miss and Tulane and Oregon and James Madison.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, hopefully the rest of the games are relatively close. I mean, that's definitely not a crazy figure. Dang, I definitely read that wrong.
That's all right.
Put your guess in the comments.
Yeah,
How
for
many
sure.
points do you think will be scored in the entire playoff?
Yeah, first round a week from today, actually. So
That'd be exciting.
yeah, that's cool.
Give me some football to watch that isn't the Titans.
Yeah,
No.
gosh, that's tough.
Move on to the next segment, where we have a little draft between me and you. We're going to be drafting some of the ugliest sports jerseys of all time. Now, it's only football and basketball, so NFL, college, NBA, NCAA, college basketball, college football.
Yep.
I guess we can flip a coin here. I'll get my Google coin.
All right.
What do you want to call
We're doing out of.
having a team of five?
Team of
five
five,
jerseys,
okay.
and we'll do a snake draft. So what do you want to call, heads or tails? If you guess right, you get the first pick.
Tails never fails.
Tails never fails.
Yeah.
The Google coin is heads.
Oh, God,
I wanted the second pick.
Well, good. I get the first
all
two.
right.
Second two.
With the first overall pick in the worst jerseys of all time draft, I have to take. This might be a bit of a reach, but the Grand Rapids Gold, which is the Denver Nuggets G League team,
Yeah.
they put them in elf jerseys.
Yeah.
Like you are a grown man. Like if you're a G leaguer, you're probably pretty young. You're like 20, coming out of college. Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, that's
They're-
awful.
If that is hanging in my locker, I'm not playing.
Yeah.
Like it has a belt on the jersey.
It looks like AI, but that's real. Yeah.
It's the most disgusting thing I've ever seen. So that'll be my first pick
okay.
in the jersey draft. And it'll go to Davis. He'll have the next two picks.
Yeah, first pick for me. This was tough. Between basketball or football here. I think my number one has got to be I don't know what year this is, but the older Warriors with the yellow sleeves and pinstripe shorts. This is back when shorts were like knee length and below.
Yeah, and the sleeves don't help.
And it doesn't match. Like
It
the
doesn't.
patterns are different. And that's just that's one of the dude. That just makes me cringe every time I see it. So
That's definitely a sin.
yeah. So that's my number one. And then number two for me, oh gosh, it's gonna be tough. I have a lot of NBA sleeve jerseys on here. That's kind of my kind of hate those, but I might go football here and go the Michigan State neon green.
Good.
I don't know if you've ever seen these.
That looks like a high school jersey.
Yeah, these are real, and they wore these. But yeah, that's bad right there.
State. I don't know. Yeah.
It's like dark green, the normal Michigan State color, and then the lime green
Yeah.
of terribleness. So yeah, that's my top two right there. So you
All
got
right. So for my next pick, I'm surprised. I don't know if you've ever seen these jerseys, but way back in the day, I can't remember what year, the Eagles, the Philadelphia Eagles, broke out some alternate jerseys. I don't know if they were throwbacks. There's no excuse. The
Yeah.
blue and gold Eagles uniforms.
I had that on my list
Like,
as well.
You think of like the greatest Eagles uniforms, like the Kelly greens and like that nice green color. It's awesome.
Yeah.
And then they just show up with like, I don't even know, like off-brand UCLA, and like the helmet doesn't even look like wings on it. It looks, I don't even know what they're trying to throw back to, but whatever it is, they need to forget it.
Yeah, that was on my list as well, and actually, I think those pay homage to their 1933 team back in the day.
Yeah, it should have stayed in 1933.
The Frankfurt Yellow Jackets, and the colors of the city of Philadelphia flag, which is where they get the colors from.
Yeah, no, that they need to stay back.
that's-
Yeah,
that's
that's not
awful.
good.
Oh, it's so bad. All right, well, let me delete that off my list since you drafted that before me. Number three.
It's your third team.
Yeah, third team.
You get to pick two and you get to pick your next two.
Okay. Sorry. Okay.
Wait, no.
Yeah, it's you get.
I get to
you
pick
get
another.
next-
Whoa,
yeah.
I don't know how snake drafts work.
Yeah. So
And then my second one for this go around, I think I have to take this. Yeah, a little hometown team, sort of a similar reason of putting yellow in a uniform for no reason. The Memphis Grizzlies wore yellow and green
Yeah,
leprechaun looking jerseys.
those are bad.
I just don't understand. I don't understand why. Like, they're throwbacks to Vancouver. Those are peak. I don't
Yeah.
know what these are throwing back to or what they're celebrating with these, but it's just not a good look.
Well, a lot of people say that the Vancouver ones, the blue ones, are bad. You know, but I don't know why.
No.
Yeah.
The Vancouver Grizzlies jerseys are awesome, but these are definitely not the right. The text on the jersey itself looks like it's straight out of the Wild West.
Yeah.
And just yellow and green. If you want to look like a leprechaun, put these on.
Yeah, that was a good pick. All right, with my number three. Is it my number three? Yeah. No. Yeah. My number three. I'm gonna have to go. I don't know if you've ever seen these, but back in the day, BYU did a jersey that was a bib.
Is that supposed to be a bib?
Yes, that is what the
What?
jerseys look like. The whole jersey you can see here is the back of it's blue, white
Yeah.
lettering, and then the front, just on the chest, is white with blue lettering. And that is awful. That is
Why?
awful.
What are they celebrating? Is it like a Thanksgiving
I don't
game?
know.
They had to have their
It's-
bib.
I have no idea, but whatever it is horrendous to me. So
That's gross.
that's number three. And then I guess Snake for me, number four.
Mm-hmm.
Oh gosh, there's so many to pick from. I made too big of a list. Oh. Number four for me has got to be the Jaguars
Dang it.
Color Rush from like 2018 2019, that like mustard
Mm,
poop green
I
brown.
have that on my list.
Yeah, that one's an all-timer.
The worst part of it is the gradient helmet.
Yeah.
Like it starts at like the baby food yellow and then it transitions into the black in the front. It's yeah. Nah.
Yeah.
Nike was not cooking with those.
No, that's awful. All right, your next.
I get to
next
do
two.
my fourth and fifth pick
Yeah.
to round it out. So I've got the blue and gold Eagles. I feel like I gotta take a classic here. A classic in terms of worst jerseys that get brought up in conversation. The Steelers Bumblebee horizontal striped
Yep.
with the with like the letter in like a square on the front.
Yep.
They're just
Brown pants.
brown pants. It's not good.
Yeah.
Not a good look. And then for my last pick, I don't know if you've ever seen these. I found these on Reddit.
Okay.
Apparently, in 2017, the Florida Gators had whatever this is.
Yeah.
Where they had like an alligator skin jersey. No.
Yep.
That's doing too much.
I had that on my list. I don't know if I was going to pick it, but I agree with that pick. The whole thing is just bad. Gator skin. Even the helmet, like the colors on the helmet are weird, like the logo.
I get where they're coming from. It's
Yeah.
just
It's not
it
good,
looks
though.
so bad.
Yeah, it's up there. All right, top 5 for you. That's pretty
Your
pretty
last
solid.
pick.
My last pick. This is pretty tough, but I think this is hilarious. So back in the day, NC State wanted to get away from like your jersey coming untucked all the time in basketball, and so they made unitards.
They did not.
They
What?
did. This is NC State like unitard, like one piece that then guys would wear shorts over,
Oh.
so your shirt would never come untucked because it's all one piece. It almost looks like a wrestling,
Yeah.
like one piece or whatever you want to say that is.
That's Chafe City right there.
Yeah, but they did that for I don't know how long, but for a while.
With how like swagger driven basketball is,
Yeah.
I guess it was. I don't know.
Um,
It wasn't as much back then.
Yeah,
But like personality is a big part of basketball, and
Yeah.
if you got to roll out wearing a unitard
yeah,
with shorts over it,
yep,
it's
it's bad.
dang.
But I think an honorable mention, if we can do that.
Okay.
In my research, I have a lot of honorable mentions, but in a UCF spring game,
Okay.
maybe this past year or year before, they put QR codes on the back of their jerseys.
What?
And this looks fake, but it's actually real. They put QR codes that would link them to like the player's profile in the school's website during the spring like training game.
That's crazy.
So it's not like a necessarily real game scenario. People think that's a good idea. I don't know. That's awful. You can't.
You can't.
They're
put a-
moving.
You
You
can't put a
can't-
QR. Yeah. Are you gonna get up to the TV? You're gonna go to a sports bar, watch a UCF game, and you're gonna get up to the TV and like try to follow a player as he's running
Yeah.
in with your phone.
That's so bad.
I don't know. For honorable mention for me, I think it was last year or a few years ago. The Giants came out with the 100th anniversary, the Century Red jerseys.
Yeah, those are awful.
They look like they're wearing khaki pants.
Yeah.
It looks like a rugby jersey.
Yeah.
It's just not a good look. I thought about taking this, but I don't know. Those are some bad jerseys.
Yeah. That
Let-
was. Oh gosh.
Let us know in the comments who you think won. To be honest, I think I did.
Yeah.
With the elf jerseys alone.
Or if you have any other ones that we didn't mention,
Yeah, that's true.
I've got a few more on this list here that probably could be a top 5 also. So
Yeah.
there's a lot to choose from.
All right. So we'll move on to the next segment. It's a little segment that we like to call Braden's Big Board.
Yeah.
Talking about my top 5 wide receivers in April's draft. Ones that I want the Titans to pick. So for context, I held positional value in terms of how they would fit on the Titans to importance. Because, I mean, right now when we have Chim, DK, who's looking like a great, Z or slot receiver, Ellick, who's been up and down as our X. I don't know if we'll have Calvin Ridley back, but if Calvin Ridley stays, we'll have Chim in the slot, Calvin Ridley in the Z moving around the field, and we'll need an X receiver. So if you were an outside X guy, I definitely gave you a little bit of a bump. So we'll just get into it. My number one wide receiver in this April's draft is Arizona State wide receiver Jordan Tyson. 6'2", 195. This season he's had 61 catches for 711 yards and 8 touchdowns. This guy, man, he's got it all. He's a savvy route runner. Contested catch ability is insane. I think he had one catch, I think it was North Texas from when I was watching film, where he jumped up over like 2 guys and one-handed the ball. He's just an absolute freak. He's got good hands. One thing that stood out to me on tape was his ability to track the ball in the air. He's just got a good sense of where the ball is, good body control. He's not like a Tyreek Hill burner, but he's definitely got some good acceleration and speed. Some weaknesses I saw on his tape are just injury concerns. He had 2 pretty substantial injuries. I think he hurt his knee and he broke his collarbone in college. So definitely having to look at that while you're evaluating him as a prospect. Player comp, I see a lot of Jackson Smith and Jigba in him. I mean, Jackson Smith and Jigba has been lighting the league on fire this year as a deep threat, as a guy who just can get open however he wants. See a lot of that in this game. Number 2, now I had a lot of debate between number 2, the next 3 guys. These guys are really interchangeable for me, but I settled after watching a lot of tape in Makai Lemon, wide receiver from USC. 5'11", 195. He's really not, he's not a physical specimen. And I said that we were looking for X receivers. This guy's so good that, it didn't matter. He can win at every level. You see him taking screen passes and catching, drag routes over the middle and winning downfield. His athleticism, for his size, he is a burner. And his yak ability is probably my favorite thing. Like the Titans, when's the last time we've had a guy that can just catch an out route or catch like a curl and take it to the house? I feel like every time I watch, the Bengals or, some of the top receivers in the draft, you see Jamar Chase run a 5-yard in and turn it into a 70-yard touchdown. We don't have that on the Titans. We used to with A.J. Brown, but, that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
But Makai Lemon, he's a great player. I see a lot of Amon-Ra St. Brown, but, faster. Cooper Kupp definitely comes to mind, a smaller guy that can get open and make some yards after catch. He definitely struggles against press coverage due to his, smaller frame and lack of, playing strength. So if you put him in, a Pat Surtain, a massive lanky corner, or Sauce Gardner, who's now in our division for some reason. He puts him in press coverage on him. He might struggle, but that definitely can be coached. Do you have any comments on my top 2?
No, I think Makai, even from 2024, got the ball a lot more and still averaged the same yards per reception. About 14, 15 almost, but nearly quadrupled his touchdowns from the year prior. So
just a guy, I remember watching the TCU game from when he played. He went off in that game. He had 10 plus catches, 100 and something plus yards, a couple touchdowns. He took over that game.
Yeah.
And a lot of his touchdowns were like I said, he took a screen pass to the house. His yak ability is top of the class. So I really like him as a prospect. Number 3, I tried to take off the orange colored glasses, but I couldn't. My third best receiver in this class is Chris Brazzell, wide receiver from Tennessee. Watching him this year, he'll get a lot of Dante Thornton comparisons or, Jalen Hyatt comparisons, people saying like, oh, he's a receiver from Tennessee, he won't work out in the NFL. No receiver from Tennessee has worked out in the NFL. But I don't think any receiver that has come out of Tennessee and Josh Heupel's system has, this much, is this complete. Like Dante Thornton, you compare him or Brazzell to Thornton and say like, oh, he's just a tall, fast, deep threat. He won't be able to do that in the NFL. But seeing the ways that he can get open, like varying speed and his double moves or crossing the field and using his size, he definitely struggled with some drops. Definitely remember seeing that through the season. But I think that he is a not like an elite route runner or separator, but he's a polished route runner. And when he's 6'5" and can jump and can run like he can, that raises his ceiling so much. I think he could be the best receiver in this class by far, sheerly off of his athleticism. I think he's going to go to the combine and he's going to shoot up draft boards. I remember that catch when we were at the Mississippi State game where he was like basically parallel with the ground and like three people were on top of him. It's crazy.
Everybody thought that it was incomplete, and then he like stood up and had the ball in his hand, and everybody's like, "What?"
It's just crazy. Player comp, Drake London, just a big. Maybe he's not as physical as Drake London, or in terms of his contested catch ability, I compare him to George Pickens. Like both of those guys just seem to come down with the ball in the craziest of scenarios. So that would be my number 3. Moving on to my 4th receiver on Braden's big board. This guy, he definitely could go up. He could be the second receiver taken off the board. He could be the first receiver taken off the board. I've got Carnell Tate from Ohio State. It was really hard for me to look at the NFL and who is balling out and, notice that they're all from Ohio State, like Jackson Smith and Jigba, Chris Olave, like Ohio State, Marvin Harrison Jr. Ohio State is a factory of great wide receivers, so it's hard for me to not put him higher. I just think that he doesn't have a lot of elite athleticism. We'll see how he tests at the combine. I think he's more of a high floor, low ceiling guy, and that could be good for the Titans. Get a guy who can just come in, get open, make life easier on Cam Ward. But I think if you're picking in the first round, you got to go for somebody who can become a true superstar. He's probably the most NFL-ready wide receiver. His route running is, he's like all other Ohio State receivers that have come out of college. They coach him up so well there. Good hands. He does all the fundamental stuff right. It's just his lack of athleticism really, makes me think that he can't be, that high of a pick. But he definitely could prove me wrong. I say he's similar to Michael Thomas in terms of a guy who can just get open, make people miss, or Justin Jefferson, which is kind of crazy that the guy I'm comparing to Justin Jefferson is the 4th player on my board. But I like Carnell Tate, but not as much as I like the other 3. You have anything you want to add?
Not really. I'm not I haven't heard much about Carnell Tate, so I have to do some research up on him. So
yeah, he's definitely is probably one of the most improved players this season. Everybody coming into this season was talking about Jeremiah Smith, how is he going to affect that offense? But Carnell Tate has really come into his own this year. I think he could go pretty high in the draft.
Yeah.
I'm not totally in love with him. I'll have to look at more film to see. But yeah,
I think even being on a team with Jeremiah Smith and him, you putting him on this board is a sign right there that he's big time. So for sure.
Yeah. My last player on the board is Denzel Boston, wide receiver from Washington. 6'4", 209. This guy he looks like an NFL receiver. His frame, I mean, he absolutely baptizes people in the end zone. Like, he mosses everybody. I think in his college career, in contested catch scenarios, his success rate is like 65%. Like, every time you throw him the ball and he's covered, he catches it 65% of the time.
Yeah, that's
Like,
crazy.
You can't. It's crazy.
Yeah.
His hands, contested catchability is elite. He's not the most like twitchy guy, but he has some good long speed, and how long his legs are could definitely fool some corners into thinking he's not moving as fast, and that could get help him get open downfield. He's definitely a big bodied X receiver, a guy that the Titans could use. Red zone threat, like I said. I see a lot of Rome Odunze in him. A guy who came out of Washington a few years ago that I really liked. I really liked Rome. Or Nico Collins. He's definitely not as fast as Nico Collins, but sort of a similar big body contested catch guy. Some of his cons, he's definitely not the, with most every receiver coming out of college, he rounds off his routes, something that NFL coaches will help him with to be able to make more sharp cuts to help him get open against NFL defenses. But I think in a good, a second round pick or, maybe trade back into the first round, I'll have to look at, who's, wanting a receiver or not come April. But if you get, right now we have the third pick. If you get the third pick, you trade down, you get an edge rusher, and like a tackle, edge rusher, and Jeremiah Love, hopefully. And then in the second rounds, you have, Denzel Boston could be there. Chris Bell, I thought about from Louisville. Casey Concepcion, he's also pretty good. He's more of a slot guy. A lot of opportunities for the Titans to shore up their problems at receiver there. And those are my top 5. So any comments on the list?
I think that's solid. We'll see how that plays out. I mean, I think could bode well for sure.
We definitely need somebody who can go and separate, because all I see this year is Cam. In that Jags game a few weeks ago, as we're recording this, when we got absolutely drummed, just watching the tape of that, Cam's dropping back, he gets to the top of the drop, and nobody's open.
Yeah.
And a lot of people say that, Cam's holding onto the ball too long. I think he's just no one's open. So receiver is definitely one of the number one needs for the Titans coming into the draft. We definitely need it.
Yeah, I agree. Talk about Chris Brazzell, watching him this season, like you said, he's not like an elite separator, but he's got hands like nobody's business.
Mm-hmm.
He's just electric to watch, and maybe that energy and those hands could be something that the Titans could use for sure. So
definitely if you go 5 wide and you have an empty set, and you got Chris Brazzell on the left, Calvin Ridley on the right, with Ellick and Chim on the inside. With that much speed on the field between Chim, Calvin Ridley, and Chris Brazzell, it's just going to be really hard to take care of as a defense.
Yeah.
I just think that he's one of the best mismatches in the class, and I would be over the moon excited if we got him at a good pick.
Yeah.
And that will do it for the first ever episode of TriStar Talk. Leave a comment. Tell us what you enjoyed. Who do you think the Titans should take if they go wide receiver? Hit that subscribe button. Turn on the notification bell to not catch to catch when we upload next. We should be able to post again at some point. But we're trying this out. Having a lot of fun doing it, so we hope that you had fun listening to us talk. We'll see you next time.